before I begin, this is like every top 10 movie review of the year thing. I haven't seen every single film. Not all of them are my fault. It's my country's fault because I can't see him as of yet, and I would love to give him my money and not watch it illegally. At number 10 we have Shazam. This film had so much heart, it was really funny, but in some aspects I kind of wish the villain had a motivation, because he didn't really have a motivation. I had no idea what he wanted to achieve by the end of the film, and the ending was a little bit cheesy and it got a bit too far. But nonetheless, it was a really great film, and I had a really great time watching it, and it was something kind of different, surprisingly, even though it kind of had the same beats. It just had a heart to it. It didn't feel as hollow as most of these superhero films have. But yeah, check it out. El Camino, the film that we didn't want and didn't need, but nonetheless, it was a good film. Netflix played it really safe, and I applaud them for it. It could have gone so wrong. They could have retconned a lot of stuff, but thankfully they didn't fuck it up like the writers of Game of Thrones did in the last season. You see, this film had actual characters and heart to it. The cinematography was great. The score kept you on the edge of your seat. The lighting was perfect. And Jesse Plemons' fat belly. Yep, I've seen that complaint. Even though you can't really complain about it too much. I mean, what can they really do? I mean, it wasn't one of my complaints. If he's fat, he's fat. I don't give a shit. But at the end of the day, Breaking Bad gave another satisfying conclusion. At number 8, I have Zombieland Double Tap. This goes to the best comedy of this year. I laughed throughout most of the film. It was hilarious. Although one of my complaints with this film is it's too cliche. It's one of those cliche comedy films. But there are a few surprises in here that were hilarious, and yeah, it was such a fun time. I was crying, and it was just so funny, so funny. At number 7, we have the best action film this year, and that goes to John Wick Chapter 3. Wow. Just wow. Like, the sound design on its own is so satisfying, and I hope it does win an award. We're starting to do with sound. They always overcomplicate the sound designs on these awards, but I hope it does win something, or at least get nominated, because wow. This is probably the most fun John Wick film out of the 3. It is getting a little bit silly, but other than that, I really enjoyed the time watching this film. It was so satisfying to watch, and it was great. Check it out. At number 6, I have Notes from Melanie, or Melanie? I think it's Melanie, yeah. This film resonates with me a lot behind and in front of the camera, because I see aspects of where I'm like, wow, that reminds me of the time I was at college, as well as times being in front of the camera at college, and I can kind of see aspects where one of my favourite YouTubers is at right now, and yeah, it's a really resonant film with me, and it inspires me a bit more to do what I want to do in the future as well as telling a really good story. And I wish there was a bit more to it, like a full feature film, because I kind of want to see where these characters go now. But it did stand out for me at number 6. At number 5, I have Us, and this is probably going to be the best horror film this decade, quite simply because honestly, this was so creepy. The music was fucking haunting. The characters were great. I really loved them. And overall, this is just a great film. The twist was really, really surprising. I didn't even think of it. And just in general, I really enjoyed this film this year, and it was fantastic. And yeah, I'm pretty pissed off that Lupita didn't even get a nomination. Maybe for the Oscars, but I doubt it. But I am pretty pissed off that she didn't get a nomination for this role. It was fantastic. At number 4, I have Ad Astra. This probably goes to the best sci-fi film this year. I mean, has there even been any other sci-fi films? I don't even know. But pretty much Brad Pitt gives an excellent performance in this kind of sometimes silly world. And this film is just very beautiful as well. The music is very somber and nice. The cinematography is beautiful, and just the effects as well, they're beautiful as well. But yeah, this film is great. Just watch it. At number 3, I have The Irishman. I view this film as a goodbye from the director and the actors and the genre as a whole. I don't really see anyone else trying to rise above Scorsese's or Coppola's level on doing gangster films, because Jesus fucking Christ, that is awful. I'll be very surprised if anyone else manages to top what they did with these films. But pretty much Al Pacino is my pick for Best Supporting Actor this year. It was such a great performance, and literally, I'm scared of Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro too. Yeah, I'm scared of them. But overall, this is just a great film. I loved it, even though it was a 3.5 hour film. But I still enjoyed watching it. It was a great time, and watching these guys perform and direct and act, it was just fucking brilliant. I don't know what else to say really. If you want to check out my review, go ahead. For my number 2 pick, this was really difficult. Really difficult. But if I had to really narrow it down to what I enjoyed most, number 2 goes to Joker. Now, Ralph, the movie maker, is making a video on his opinions on the film and why he thinks it's not a good film. I'm just gonna say this, no one's gonna fucking care, although I just want to point my point across anyway. Just because someone else that's really high up is telling you, hey, I don't like this film, doesn't mean you guys have to agree with him. Now, I hope in his video he puts it across that please don't agree with me just for agreeing with me because I'm big. Don't do that. If you enjoyed the film, more power to you. It's your opinion, whatever. But just because someone big and has a lot of opinions on filmmaking and stuff like that. I mean, I love these guys. They're really funny when they take the piss out of films. But then obviously when they take the piss out of a film that I like and enjoy, you know, it feels a little weird. And I just don't want anyone else to give the film hate just because someone else has a different opinion about it. Now, sure, this film is very controversial. It has literally been the most controversial film this year. Everyone's a bit half and half on it, even though the scores are really high. But please just don't fucking listen to what other people are saying just because they are really high up and they try and make a lot of sense. I know I make no sense at all, but please. Anyway, Joker is just about a 10 out of 10 on every aspect of filmmaking. Apart from editing, sometimes that was a bit rough, but other than that, Phoenix for best performance this year, please. I hope he actually wins something for this. I can tell he put so much effort into this role. It's a shame that he won't get it, maybe, probably. But overall, this is such an iconic film. It's been kind of a while for that, personally. Iconic films have pretty much degraded over the past couple of years, to be quite honest. But anyway, if you want to check out my review for Joker, go ahead. For my number 1 pick, that is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I really loved this film. It was fantastic. Honestly, it was such a relaxing time, and I just loved it. Like I just said with Joker, with the aspects of film, everything is a 10 out of 10. The directing, the editing, the acting, the lighting, the sets, the dog, the music, the cinematography, everything's just beautiful to look at, and it really feels like a late 60s film. It's just a beautiful thing that you can't quite describe. because there's a lot of aspects to it where you just astounded by it. And this film has even inspired me as well to continue with my work. It's just phenomenal. Thanks for watching this top 10 movies of 2019. If I remember and if I have time, I will make the top 5 disappointing movies / TV shows of 2019. You can probably already guess what they are. Yeah, I'll probably make it